Hello Star Trek fans, and welcome back to the channel and another Star Trek Fleet Command video. Firstly, I'd like to apologise for not uploading for a couple of months now. I was on vacation, or holiday, depending on what part of the world you're from, for nearly 5 weeks in the good old US of A. Here's me flying my trusty old Varkulis. So I've been away for a little while now. I've missed the Devore, I've missed the launch of Armadas at least, although I have partaken in them since then, and all of the controversy and fun that goes with both of them items. Then of course there was the good old maintenance issue the other day. Today, however, I want to take a look at 3 things, and they're all to do with raiding. The first is how the vaults work. The second is prime protection, which bolsters your resource protection when you get raided. Then I want to look, does it work? And then the last thing I want to show you is a response I got from customer support, which may answer a few questions about why Scopley don't refund lost resources even when it's their fault. So this whole thing started the other day when I got raided. Now the fact I got raided is of no concern to me. It's part of the game, I accept it, I raid other people, and I got raided by making a mistake, by not putting up my shield. I forgot, there's no other way to say it. Now, as you can see here, there were 27 instances of raids. Each one of them I was hit with a ECS Horizon, and he was taking about 400,000 at a time, so I think I lost about 16 million. Now this is going off on a bit of a tangent, but if you look, before I got raided by QCon, my last activity was when I took a crystal mine at 0 by this guy, and that was 5 hours and 31 minutes prior to getting raided. So there was a 2.5 hour gap, and then you can see the QCon guy raids me, and he raids me rhythmically every 30 seconds until I'm empty. Now what's missing there is the 10-minute peace shield. Now people may say that, you know, peace shields have cooldown times, but there was 2.5 hours of nothing, and the cooldown timer on a peace shield after you've been hit is 1 hour. So there is no reason that peace shield should not have activated, but as you can clearly see in the screenshot, there was a 2.5 hour gap, and then I got raided every 30 seconds without a 10-minute peace shield. And that will come into play later when I show you the customer support screen prints. So back to the topic at hand, vaults, prime protection, how does it work, and does it work? Well, my base, as you can see here, the video at least, was taken exactly after I got raided. So all the amounts as I found them after being raided, with the exception of I used 10,000 tritanium to repair my defense platforms, but that number is insignificant, so it won't play a factor in the calculations we're about to do. And yes, we are going to get a little bit Excel nerdy very, very shortly. So to calculate your protected cargo, you need to look at 3 things. Your vault, so my par steel is 800,000. My tritanium, which is 120,000, and my dilithium vault, which is 25,000. Now in theory, it should never be able to fall below those numbers, no matter how much I get raided. I can spend lower, but I can never get raided lower than that amount. The second thing to take into consideration is your research, so your protected research. So a par steel, I've got, let me just flag it up there, 70% of my total vault is also protected, so you need to add those numbers together. The same for tritanium, 70%, and lastly 42% on my dilithium. And then the last thing to take into consideration is prime protection, which I have unlocked, so that gives me 100% increase to the amount of my vault. It does not take into account research. It's the flat amount that offered by your vault. So I've written all those numbers down, so let's switch over to Microsoft Excel and do some numbers, and we'll see if what I should have in protection is what I've actually got in my resources. So here we are in Microsoft Excel, so let's start plugging in some of those numbers and working out how vaults work and what I should have. So here we go. So we've got my current resource, which we will fill in last. the amount that my vault offers alone, the prime protection value, because I do have that research unlocked, and the research value, so that'll be a percentage. We'll do a quick sum for that. We'll see how much protection I should have and what the shortfall is. So let's get on with it. So the vault amount for my steel, if you remember, was 800,000. The vault amount for my titanium was 120,000. And the amount for my dilithium was 25,000. Now, as prime protection offers 100% increase to the flat amount of your vault, that's going to be another 800,000. Another 120,000 there. And another 25,000 there. Now the research value, if you remember, on my par steel was 70% of the total amount of the vault. So for that, it's a quick sum. So we will say equals that divided by 10 to get 10%, and then we'll times it by 7, giving us 70% of the value, which is exactly correct at 56,000. Then we'll drag that one across here because the sum is exactly the same. So it is 120,000 divided by 10 to get us 10%, times by 7 to get us 70%. So that's 84,000. That's what the value of the research is at. And then we'll drag it across one more time for dilithium, except it wasn't 70%, we had 42%, which for a numeric value is 4.2. So that gives us 10,500 protection from our research alone. So we will then say sum that, and that, giving me a total of 2,102.1 million. I can't say the flipping number. And then we can drag it across for all of these. So in theory, no matter how much I get raided, I should never have less than 2.1 million. Should never have less than 300,000. I can't say it. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh dear God, guy, get a grip. 324,000 titanium, and I should never have less than 60,500 dilithium in raiding. So what were my resources? So I looked on the video before, I'm not going to flick back to it, you can check it back. So the resources I had after the raid were 2,500,000 and 117. My titanium was 191,557, but remember I did spend 10,000 on repairing my defense platform, so you know it's barely a drop in the ocean, but let's bear that in mind. My dilithium was 30,953. So is there a shortfall? I think we know the answer to that question already, but let's do the sums anyway. So that minus that. Uh-oh, what have we done there? Oh dear God, you're embarrassing yourself. So current resource is that minus that. So on the good side, my steel, my par steel, was protected, which is a good job. My titanium, however, was minus 132,443 than the protected lower. Let's have a look. And my dilithium was down 29,547 below the level of the protected cargo. Now that should be impossible according to the game mechanics. However, clearly it's not working. Now, if you remember, all the way at the beginning of the video, I said that I'd managed to contact support and got an honest answer as to why Scopley don't replace resources lost even when it's their fault. However, to see that answer, I think it's fair that we look through the whole conversation so you can see it in context. So here's what I sent them. Hello, today my station was attacked and 15 million worth of resources were taken. The fact I was attacked is not an issue. That is part of the game. My issues are as follows. Number 1. I did not receive any type of notification from the game to alert me despite having all my notifications turned on. Number 2. My 10-minute automatic P-shield did not activate. As you can see from the screenshot attached, my last conflict was 2.5 hours previous to the ship, and that was ship-to-ship conflict. Nothing to do with my station. The attacks then start with no 10-minute gap for the P-shield. Number 3. As the lost resources were lost due to the game not functioning correctly on 2 counts, please can you pass this along to the dev team so they may return the stolen resources. Now, to give customer support their credit, they did reply quite quickly, within 1 day, which is pretty good, and it said, "Hi there guy, looking at your logs, it seems that the P-shield took place on the 11th or 8th of November at 10:01, as I've confirmed at our end. We are happy that we're considering to adjust the activation time of 10-minute shield to make it easier for you guys to understand." Not really sure what that means, but it must be an upcoming update. As for notifications, please know that I've already informed our engineering team to recheck this. In the meantime, I hope you understand that some issues or glitches in the game may take some time to fix, since we need to consider some factors. For now, feel free to beam us up again if you encounter any issue in the game. We'll be happy to help you out. Many thanks, Melissa, Scopley support team. Is there anything else I can help you with? Now, her saying that my P-shield activated when the screenshot, and I'll pop it on screen here, clearly shows that the last activity I had before I was raided by the QCon member was 2 hours and 30 minutes ago. It was PvP conflict and I was clearing a 0 crystal mine to take it for myself. Now, as you know, when your station gets attacked in game, your P-shield activates, and if it drops, it goes on to a 1 hour cooldown, so you will not get another P-shield until your station has been repaired and free of attack for 1 hour. However, my previous activity was 2.3 hours ago. My station was not attacked, but as you can see, the QCon guy raids me at 22 minutes, 22 minutes, 21 minutes, rhythmically every 30 seconds. The P-shield did not activate, and it should have, because it was not in a cooldown state. So I replied to customer support, and the conversation went as follows. "Hi, thank you for looking into the issue. You say the P-shield activated at 10:01. However, the log, which I will post again, directly disputes this. As you can see, the last activity before the attack occurred 2.3 hours before the first attack. The attacks occur without interruption. So either the game logs are wrong or the back-end data you have is wrong. While I fully appreciate that games have bugs and glitches that may take time to resolve, you have to understand that losing millions of resources that were purchased or played for over many hundreds of hours can be devastating. And with Scopley's seemingly non-replacement policy, this can lead to massive dissatisfaction. Having worked in support within the games industry myself, I know the limit and tools available to support agents. However, I also know what feedback and actions you can pass up." And here is Scopley's reply. Again, to Scopley's credit, they did reply within a few hours, so both of these were received the same day. And it goes as follows. "Hi guy, I understand where you're coming from. However, please do note that we're only relaying information that we found in our game's logs. The battle reports exceed 30 battle logs cap. This is why you are not seeing the other attacks. Well, that's not true, because if there were other attacks, it would have erased and overwritten the PvP I had taken the crystal mine. So that's not true, but so be it. That's not the important bit. This is the important bit. With regards to the missing notification issue, this may not be the answer that you want to hear, but I'm afraid we cannot return the lost resources to you. This is because adding resources into the game will bring an imbalance to the in-game economy, since the resources that you had are still in-game. Thank you for your understanding, Michael, Scopley support team. So, they have got a point. If you get raided for 100 million resources, somebody has your 100 million resources. So if Scopley were to give you those back, there would be a wild, for lack of a better description, 100 million in. Now times that by the amount of bugs and issues they're having that may or may not be attributed to Scopley, they could be putting billions of resources into the game, but other people also have those resources because they took them from you. Now, when it comes to carelessness, on my own part, which was I forgot to shield, that is my own problem. However, if you've just bought a pack and then the maintenance issue happens, and as we all know, lots of people lost lots of resources through no fault of their own, then should they not get their stuff back because Scopley doesn't want to add that resource back into the game? It's a tricky one. I can see both sides of the argument, but I'm gonna say that where it's Scopley's fault, I err on the side of the player, because it's not their fault. It's not carelessness that has lost it. You can let me know in the comments below what you think. Have you heard this answer before? Is this the first time Scopley have come clean on the reason why they won't replace resources in game? I don't know. It's a tricky one. That's all for today, folks. Upcoming videos from me within the next couple of weeks will include tips and tricks that still do or don't work in Star Trek Fleet Command following update 8.1. And finally, as an Admiral of an Alliance, I'm going to list some tools that I would like to see added to make it easier for Admirals to organise alliances, because organising up to 72 people that all want your attention all of the time can be quite taxing, and Scopley could make it easy. The game is now big enough that those tools can be added, and as we all know, they got a big cash injection recently to further advance their project, so how about spending just a little bit of money on us? But until then, once again, let me know what you think in the comments about Scopley's reply. Thank you for sticking with me, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you out there.